morning everybody, it's Christian from Student Education with the 4 Majors Analysis Update for the 3rd of February 2011. Going to be going over the Euro US dollar to start with on our 6 time frame CTC strategy. I'll be looking at the daily time frame first. Okay, yesterday we had a pause, this is classic spinning top where the price action is happening smack bang in the middle of the wicks, and you can see a definite picture of a spinning top, and this spinning top coming around a slight pause at 138.50, and if you go back you can see that hesitation thereabouts. Okay, roughly it's pausing around that area, losing a bit of momentum. In the Asian market session as we speak, we've seen it open and we're trading slightly lower, so another smaller spinning top to the bottom of that, confirming that this indecision period. Okay, not a big trading range just to start with, so indecisive on the Asian market session. We're looking to go into a lot of news this afternoon, and particularly Friday, because we have the non-farm payroll. It's the first Friday of February, which means that the US non-farm payroll results are out. There's also a lot of other news. If I just have a quick glance here, we've got unemployment claims, we've got the prelim non-farm payroll productivity quarter on quarter, and then we have the non-manufacturing PMI results, and then Mr. Bernanke speaks later this afternoon at 6 p.m. GMT time. So I think those could be a factor in what's the likely turnout. So I think we're going to see a lot of hesitation prior to the news going into tomorrow. We could see a couple spikes, but be aware of it. Make sure that we all know, I mean, we teach all you guys that it's far better just to stand aside while non-farm payroll is around, and even then we know what Bernanke's like when he steps up. He's very much like our friend here at the UCB. Things tend to happen, so it'll be interesting to see this morning what happens. So intraday, let's have a look at the intraday aspects. Still bullish on our larger time frames, our 4-hour and our hourly. Hesitation starting to creep in now. We've seen breaks of trends. You can see it's trading on the 30-minute. We're trading below the two important short-term moving averages. And yesterday I mentioned there was this down candle, and we were trading well below that. But as per usual, we saw a bounce. This bounce occurring just on the 137, a pre-support and resistance area in the past. Just recently we had another bounce early in the day. This is the one here that I was interested in, and we're now still trading below that area. So we've broken now through a previous support area at 138.20, and now we're trading below that. So a bit of a hesitation, a bit of negative sentiment coming in. It's in a holding pattern as we speak. I think if we can still trade above the 200 period moving average, it still bodes well for this pair going forward. But the moment we start trading well below that, then we're going to start seeing changes. Okay, so hesitation at the moment now. As you can see on our 50 minutes, it's testing the 200 period moving average. We go to an hourly. You can see there are a number of hammer-like formations in the past couple of hours, and it's hanging on to that all-important previous support of 137,700. Okay, so still an uptrend nonetheless, but be aware that we are seeing lower swings. So you can see our movement is down, and if we start seeing this break below the 1377 mark, then we could see definite downside movement. Okay, so Euro hesitation at the moment now. I think we're going to see a holding pattern. As it stands now, you probably see a shorting opportunity if it fails to close higher, especially on the 50 minutes. You can see we're having the lower swings, and it's testing that swing now. It fails to break higher than this 200 period moving average at 1380 at 13,800 here, then there could be an opportunity for a shorting opportunity. Okay, first thing this morning, just keep that in mind. Our first targets, obviously it would be far better to see a break below the previous swing, in this case here at 13,780, and our first target would be here at 13,770, and then if you look further down the scale, we've had a slight hesitation, a lot of hesitation in this area here, just above the 137.30 mark, and then likewise down to the sides. Okay, so that's Euro. I'll be back next with the Sterling against US dollar. Okay, sterling yesterday had a sterling job. Just keeps rising and rising and rising. Beautiful, almost a flag hesitation just above the 1585 mark, and sure enough, just found a bit of support on that 20 period moving average, and we've seen higher highs as the days have progressed. We're now, as you can see, we've tested a previous resistance level around the 1605 or 1600 mark, and we've sailed straight through that, guys. Oops, what am I doing now? Bear with me for a moment. 1605, 16, you can see that straight through it. So there was that one right here. That was previous support right through it. Now we're heading up towards our high just above the 16,500 mark. I mentioned that it'll be one to watch in the previous instances. You can see here, if I just do a classic continuation of the initial move, you can see we moved to that, and 26,108 is the full extension now, and we're seeing that hesitation. Or we can do the other projection, which is this one over here, where the move started, the high and the pullback, and you can see the 61.8% here at 1615 being reached. Okay, the extension higher, well up at 1640, so still a lot of movement to be seen in this pair. And if I get really cocky and go out to a weekly chart, you can see that we've now progressed, and we're trading higher than this high that we saw in early November. So sterling is definitely finding something to be happy with. Great production figures, etc. Out has pushed us further up, and now we're seeing a holding pattern. Slight hesitation. You can see the wicks getting slightly bigger at the top, telling you that there's more hesitation creeping in. We've seen that before. See that, the hesitation creeping in, big moves, full candles to start with. Then we start getting these half-measured candles into spinning top indecision. This is almost like a shooting star. See that momentum is prior to the morning. We're still getting upside, but there's still hesitation, and sure enough, we've seen a pause. We could see the same happening here, guys. It's quite possible. Okay, the closer we get to the high point. So factor that in. We've got all the news on the US out this afternoon. Sterling today, we've got services PMI at 9:30 GMT. That's the last, and then we got figures for the ECB when we've got a press conference for Euro minimum bid rate. That's going to be interesting for Euro at 12:45. Very important news that could also factor in for Euro. Could play a big part in sterling today. Retail figures expecting no change, well, a change from negative 0.6% to 0.6. So we get higher than that, then we could see a definite rally. For you in particular, but nothing else for sterling, just the services PMI, expecting better figures. So if it comes out, we could see a push, but I think primarily what's going to be the deciding factor today is going to be more the news out, the non-farm production quarter figures from US, and then the all-important unemployment claims, and factory orders, etc. And then Mr. Bernanke. So we could see a hesitation here. We could see still some upside movement while people decide. A lot of fake outs, probably. You could be in for a nice juicy shooting star pattern, probably. A lot of these type of things as we get to the news this afternoon and later in tomorrow when we have the non-farm payroll results. So factor that into your trading, guys. Okay, we don't want to be caught with our our pants down. We don't want to be trading noise if possible. There might be an opportunity to scalp. Let's have a look at the intraday. You can see that we are still positive above, literally on most time frames. You can see the holding pattern. Even if you go to an hourly chart, you can see the momentum is now sucked sideways. What you're seeing is we're seeing lower swings. This swing here is lower than that. Now we're testing this swing as we speak. Okay, it would need ideally to break above this high here at 1620 to see further progression to the upside. And we can start looking at 1622 or even 1623 as our first target of the day. Okay, we haven't got a blue candle. However, CTC is blue across the board, so the momentum, sentiment is still bullish, but we're in a holding pattern. Okay, you can see we've bounced on previous support at 1650, so this is going to be a very interesting part. I break below 1650 this morning, could see further downside movement. You can see smaller increment moves to the downside. However, if you're going to see a further push to the upside, then we obviously want to see a close above the Asian market high to start with. Here at 1618.50, and then we could push for yesterday's high here at 1622.90. Very close, not much movement in that, but trading higher than this would obviously be looking for further highs to the upside. Okay, that's sterling for today. I'll be back next with the Swiss franc against the US dollar, the US dollar against Swiss franc. Apologies. Okay, the Swiss franc on the daily time frame for the 3rd of February 2011. Had a bounce yesterday. You'll notice that we had consolidation of some sort on the on euro and not so much on sterling. We saw higher, and you can see that we've now found support at 935.935, previous support area. Now we're going to see a bounce. Big question mark here going into today with all the news out on the US, and particularly tomorrow with non-farm payroll. There could be a deciding factor here. We could see US get some favorable news, and we could see a bounce to the upside, and we could see 50 period at 960 being retested soon. Okay, failure to find support above this area, we obviously want to see a close lower than 935. In this particular case, the low of this one over here at 9,330 to see further downside movement, and then we'll be trading a new territory. You can see that we are literally trading. If you look at a weekly, we haven't traded this low since, well, as far as I can remember. So it'll be very sad for the US dollar against the Swiss franc if it's trading at these lows, continues trading at these lows. So look for a possible bounce. If so, then we want to be trading above this previous swing here. So we want to see a close higher than 9457 to see further extensions to the upside, because you can see that we had lower swings. So almost a squeezing pattern, a holding pattern. It's trading well below all the moving averages, and our CTC is red, so we should be looking for shorting opportunities only. Shorting opportunities will be null and void if we look at our intraday, we see a close higher than, say, for example, this previous candle here, yesterday's high at 9440. Okay, very important. You can see on the hourly chart, for example, the 200 period moving average governing the trend for this pair, acting as a ceiling level. You can see that it hasn't really pretty much, we've had some break fake outs, but the 200 period moving has been there to actually capture this, to hold it in. Okay, so be aware of that. If anything, it needs to be bullish. It has to break above all this noise. There's a lot of noise here. You don't want to be trading this noise. There's a stack of noise here that you just don't want to be trading, because if you trade above here, then you're going to be playing against the 200 period moving average, and even then we're going to have a previous support and resistance level 947. So there's some music, but you don't want to be trading this because it's going to be very skittish. So ideally you want to be null and void and say, listen, yeah, I'm going to only put in an order to execute once it's traded above this box. That's simple. Why trade noise? We want to trade, above all that rubbish. And we trade above all that rubbish, then you see we have clean air up to the upside going forward. So far better to be waiting for the pair to be trading well above this, so we can get nice clean air movements to the upside. Okay, and this will only come if we see some favorable news out on the US dollar in the next couple of days with non-farm payroll coming up. Hey guys, that's US Swiss franc. I'll be back next with the last pair of the day, the US dollar against Japanese yen. Okay, and the last pair for today, for the 3rd of February 2011, is the US dollar against Japanese yen. And you'll notice, similar to the chief, where we're heading towards the previous support at 8100. and we had a slight pause yesterday. Market trading took its European session, opened higher than the previous high, and continued that trend throughout the day, and then saw it pull back during the later session. And then the Asian market this morning, we've seen it trading slightly higher, not very convincing move, and we are now going into the European session in 30 minutes or so, and very, very small trading range. I think it's all in preparation for the non-farm payroll news that's out later tomorrow, but we have prelim figures this afternoon. But you know, the CTC is still governing to the downside, and we should still be looking for opportunities to short this pair. Okay, if you look at our intraday, for example, the CTC overall is down. We're having a slight pause here. You can notice that on our 30-minute time frame, for example, we're seeing higher highs. Okay, there we go, swing highs, but the 200 period moving average is still above it. Okay, it's still governing this pair, and you can still see we're coming down from that was the initial trend. We saw a break above that, a rally high to a previous support and resistance area at 81.90, 95, and a failure to do so. But the 200 period moving average is still moving down though. Okay, be aware of that. For this to be positive, we need to obviously break above 81.90, the 200 period moving average to start with. Then above all this noise here, there's a lot of noise here. If I can just put a nice big box around it. Okay, so anything between 81.90 right up to, if not 82.25, there's a lot of noise. Okay, we don't want to be stuck in this noise band for too long, and then we'll be plain sailing to the upside. Okay, there's that stop, and then ultimately right up here at 83.05. So be aware of it. If we want to be looking for long opportunities, it needs to be trading above 81.90. If things go well for the US dollar, then we could very well see a breach of this 81.90, and we could see an attempt to go to 82.50 and higher. So as it stands at the moment now, we're still in consolidation of this pullback, because the momentum trend is down. We're seeing consolidation prior to the news that's coming out this either today, this afternoon, and tomorrow. Okay, so if you don't want to be trading news, then rather sit in your hands. Put your orders in for an opportunity for a trade if it breaks above 81.90, but be aware of all this noise prior to that. Daily you want to be trading above 82.25, long term to see some great movement to the upside. However, failure to see a break above 81.90, but you could see it literally turn over, because we're trading below a previous support and resistance line, quite a strong one, and we could revert back down to shorting opportunities. Okay guys, that's it in a nutshell. Hope you have a fantastic day today. Be aware there's a lot of news. You don't need to be trading this news. Nikki and I tend to stand aside as we go into non-farm payroll results tomorrow. We just let the market do its thing, and then we just revert back to trading the initial move. It's far better that way. There's less opportunities to be caught going in the wrong direction. And money management skills are very necessary when you're trading these time frames. So be aware of it. Just trade sensibly, and most importantly, trade serenely. Take care.